Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success stories over the years each Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. It was never empty. It can be your reality. Successful to do every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday and 7 a.m. Saturdays. Go to GE Landscape supply.com or 402-416-1627.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it.
That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get, and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC, sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Vershawn Jackson for Brandt Excavating. Brandt's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, is the call 744-113 or excavating.com. Their team today, Brandt Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go big brand.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll go for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. Happy 23 days prior to kickoff for Nebraska and Minnesota. It is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert on this side, Rico on that side. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How was the day?
So far, so good.
Nice.
Pretty solid. 3/4 of the way through the new Nebraska version of Hard Knocks.
Okay, so it's about a 31-minute video.
I'm going to call it Nebraska Knocks.
I will say this. I believe that they spent too much time, and Austin agreed with me, too much time on the water balloon fight. Have you seen the water balloon fight?
I fast-forwarded through it.
Yeah. I saw it, not that I saw it coming. I saw that it was starting, and YouTube's got that like plus 5 seconds.
That's 10 seconds.
10 seconds?
But you're right.
You clicked it. I just clicked it like 3 times.
I was just like, doot.
Because after about 10 seconds of seeing people throw water balloons at each other, I was like, all right, this
is cool. I don't care.
Yeah. So,
cool.
It's
good. Like, it's, have fun in between all of the hard work. You have some fun, do whatever. But
Maybe.
Also, like,
it's all right.
I mean, whatever.
It's fine.
Yeah.
402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline.
Should have just had like fire hoses and just like
exactly. Have some
water balloons.
The Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and then Allo channel 951 if you want to watch us on your television sets. I was at practice this morning. We were there for about 20 minutes or so.
Please inform us.
And spent a lot of the time around offensive line, just kind of watched from afar with quarterbacks, running backs were there, or, someone in front of me as well. And then special teams was outside. And when I say special teams, they were going through just kind of kickoffs and things like that. And the guys that were technically back there for kickoff return duties were Emmett Johnson, Billy Kemp, Elliott Brown, and Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. Those were the 4 that were back there right now.
Sign me up for Emmett Johnson kick returns, please, and thank you.
We heard from Matt Rule and Donovan Raiola today. We'll get to some of those conversations as well. We have that to talk about. We also, as we are 23 days from kickoff, we're also 22 days from Volleyball Day in Nebraska.
Yes.
And we got to talk about that. So we're going to talk about that here coming up in a little bit. Just kind of giving you guys the lowdown on that extremely special day.
Just want you guys to picture it.
Yeah, in Nebraska for volleyball. And so I guess let's start here. Let's go with Husker football first. 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline, and the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys. Now, there were some guys that were banged up. Obviously, we know Teddy Prohaska, we found out last Saturday, is dealing with dealing with his injury. Nuri Nuili was in a green jersey today. And excuse me, but according to Matt Rule, the only guys that we need to worry about from a media standpoint are
Brody
Tagaloa, and now Maverick Noonan, who suffered a knee injury and will be out for the year as well.
Not an ACL though, but he needs surgery, and it's a 6-month recovery time. Which I've been racking my brain trying to think meniscus. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
it would just be speculation,
anatomy,
and we're not going to do that. But he said it wasn't an ACL tear, so I'm just I don't know what else could have happened. I'm not a doctor or a physical therapist or an athletic trainer, so I couldn't tell you. But it's not his ACL, so that's positive.
6 month recovery nonetheless, and so he's going to be out for the year. So when we walked into the Hawks today, this is how they kind of lined up. Turner Corcoran was at left tackle. Ethan Piper was at left guard. Now, I mentioned Nuri Nuili has had a green jersey on after he recovers from whatever he was dealing with. He usually occupies that left guard spot prior to, obviously, him being suspended for the entirety of last season. Mm-hmm. Now, he usually occupied that left guard spot. With him being injured, Ethan Piper slides over from right guard to left guard, and then Ben Scotts, the Arizona State transfer, is at center. And then Henry Latovsky is the man who is filling that right guard spot, formerly of Ethan Piper. And then obviously Bryce Benhart sits at that right tackle position. Now, another thing we saw,
that is a name,
Henry Latovsky out of the state of Iowa. Another thing we saw today was they lined up in an old school 22 personnel type of style, where it's the two running backs, 2 tight ends, and then 1 wide receiver out there, which signifies, right, this power football type of feel that Nebraska fans have been starving for.
What would you call one of those running backs, Nick? What would you call him? What is that position that you would call one of those running backs? Would you call it
fullback?
There you go.
A fullback.
Okay.
There you go.
Everybody just wanted to hear you say it.
A fullback.
Nebraska lined up in a formation with a fullback and 2 tight ends.
Don't forget, they had Omar Manning at fullback a couple years ago.
Yep, that was weird.
On the goal line. Omar Manning's lining up at the fullback.
Why?
What's this mean? Omar Manning's going to
absolutely nothing.
To score touchdowns on the goal line. Omar Manning's going to play.
They should have just put Chancellor Brewington at fullback. I don't know why they never thought of that.
They should have.
I mean, you had him running across the line. Why not put him at fullback?
But nonetheless, so that's kind of how the offensive line, was lined up. Now, what's interesting as we go forward, right? Matt Rule talked about it, and I don't know if Rico, if you have the clip pulled up with Matt Rule, he talked about what type of physical style of play they want to play, and we've heard it from Matt Rule countless times, right? But he talks about how the trenches are the key to success in pretty much everything they're going to do. Drumstick says this on the text line: 2 tight end set makes the run the ball guy very happy. I think it makes a lot of Husker fans happy, right? We don't know maybe necessarily the future of what the Big Ten Conference and the identity is going to need to look like. We always have this thought that you have on the ball successfully in the Big Ten to find success in terms of wins and losses, and maybe that's correct. But I think also in a guy like Jeff Sims, who definitely can utilize his legs as a weapon, more so than his arm, maybe, if you're able to establish a running game, we have this conversation every fall prior to the season, it feels like. But you have this quarterback who you want to settle into a game, if you will, right? And a way to do that maybe through play action. Maybe that's through obviously establishing a run, and then you can maybe open it up and getting tight ends involved through the play action, or even the fullback on short yardage situations. So go ahead and play the clip here, Rico.
Yeah, I mean, it's the defensive ones. You can't be typing that we want to be if you don't have great defensive line play. Add into that the tight ends and linebackers, your front sevens. You just never be built on a solid foundation. So what I would like to see is them to continue to improve and play well, gain confidence, and also, kind of begin to take over sort of a little bit of the locker room, a little bit of like the way we do things. When your team follows the O&D lines, you're usually pretty good.
So once again, that's just kind of Matt Rule after today's practice, and when he talked to the media earlier this morning,
I was talking about wanting physical lines and how he'd like to establish that long term. There's another clip on the offensive line, and somebody asked him what kind of offensive line he would like to have, and this is the answer for that one.
I mean, I'd like to be a big physical, offensive line and do a lot of things. I mean, at the end of the day, we all run, and we want to protect back and affect their quarterback. So, we need big, powerful guys up there that are smart and can handle all the looks. And our defense certainly provides a lot of challenges. I mean, you see defense on every play. So they're training and they're coming along.
Every time he talks about one side of the ball, he usually somehow figures out a way, especially offensive defensive line. When he's talking about one of the lines, he'll find a way to mention both of them just because they are going against each other, day after day. And if one is improving, you would like to think that the other one is improving as well.
Once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and then Allo Channel 951 as well are all places for you guys to get in touch with the show. So Rico, we walked in this morning at practice, and the first thing we heard was Donovan Raiola screaming.
Perfect.
That was the first thing we heard from Donovan Raiola, and he is, when we got around, because offensive line. So when we walked in, I should kind of lay out the picture here. Offensive line was the only group that was practicing indoors.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only group that was practicing indoors. And I think a big reason why they did that was because special teams was taking up pretty much, 3/4 of the field for kickoff duties and things like that. Well, offensive line was practicing inside, so everybody immediately, started to kind of huddle around the offensive line and kind of just observe what was going on. And Donovan Raiola did not hold back. I mean, there were words being dropped and
colorful language.
Yeah, but it wasn't in a bad way, right? It wasn't in a bad way. He celebrated the good that he saw, but then he also criticized and adjusted the bad. So when we saw that from just, I guess, Nebraska's offensive line, there's still probably need to get a little quicker off the ball. I posted a video and going back to watch it, still not very fast off the ball, but I think anything is going to be progress over what we saw maybe from that group last year. Donovan Raiola was actually asked of how he decides when to maybe get on a guy rather than hold it back a little bit.
But that's the standard, right? Especially, right? You're not going after people. That's just how you block, right? Either you do it or you don't. There's only one standard. And if you don't do it in practice, right, when it's in a critical situation in the game, you won't get it. So we're smart with our teammates. Make sure we take care of teammates because they are our teammates. And but we just be smart.
Thought that was a good answer from Donovan Raiola. And this coaching staff is not afraid to get on guys, as we've heard firsthand. Tony White did so as well today when he was working out with some of the linebackers and such, and just coverage opportunities and things like that. So
they're going to hold these guys accountable, but as Rule said before, they're also going to show them a lot of love. So they're going to get on these guys, but they're also going to let them know that this is all coming from a place of love, and they're doing this so that they can get better and achieve their dreams, and obviously the coaching staff can achieve, and the whole university can achieve what they want to achieve. But they're going to get on these guys because they want the best out of them. It's not coming from a place of malice where they're just going to yell at them to get some sort of rage out. They're trying to get them to perform at the best of their abilities, and sometimes that means you got to raise your voice a little bit.
So once again, the lineup for and Matt Rule said it on Saturday that, hey, depth charts, they're not even thinking depth chart right now, but maybe subconsciously they're putting guys out there with the ones, with the twos, right? Things like that, pairing up the quarterbacks and running backs. So that's kind of what I was kind of just watching in my own way subconsciously this morning and wrote things down. The offensive line lined up, not necessarily a big surprise. While Nuri Nuili was in a green jersey, we got a joke on the text line that says, couldn't the green jersey just mean that Nuri is just the new starting quarterback? And maybe that is. Maybe Nuri's the new starter. But
you imagine an option with Nuri at quarterback?
I can't.
Good luck tackling that guy once he gets running.
But nonetheless, no, Nuri will, I'm sure, figure out a way back to the offensive line. But Turner Corcoran's sitting at left tackle, Ethan Piper for time being at left guard, Ben Scott at center, Latovsky at right guard, and then Bryce Benhart fills out the offensive line on the right tackle position. And you would expect, as we've mentioned, when Nuri Nuili comes back, that Henry Latovsky maybe gets bumped, Piper goes back to right guard, and then Nuri fills his spot in the left guard position. Other positions, just as we finish out this segment on just kind of guys that were paired together. Obviously, Jeff Sims, the starting quarter, was number one quarterback up every drill. Heinrich Harburg was behind him, Chubba Purdy behind him, and then the Iowa Western transfer, Luke Longville, who I would love to see Longville play in a game because he wears number 29 as a quarterback.
Wait, what?
He wears number 29 as a quarterback.
Well, I mean, Doug Flutie was in the 20s.
I understand that, but that's why I want to see him play.
It is weird.
Is because 29 at quarterback is really, really weird.
I don't like that.
It's weird to see him throw the ball in practice.
Maybe he's just waiting because somebody else is going to get a single-digit number. He's going to move on to that number.
Supposedly, maybe, possibly, but
you only have so many numbers.
Luke Longville not going to find time, unfortunately, in the fall.
You don't know that.
If he does, then this thing
We'll talk about Luke Longville.
He did talk about Luke Longville. Should we play Luke Longville?
We should play what Rule said about Luke
scout
Longville.
team with Luke Longville.
Yeah, we finished practice today. We went for about 20 minutes. I think it was like 22 plays with that third group, and let him take all the reps. And so he's smart. He's athletic. We just want to accumulate as many good players as possible and develop as many players as possible. So whatever his role is, it'll be. But he's an athletic kid who likes football. Practices hard, plays hard. So it makes our team better.
There's Matt Rule with Luke Longville because Matt Rule was asked about kind of the role for Luke Longville,
which him at a postgraduate camp.
You potentially bring him in to run scout, right, for your team. And when they worked on like tosses, offs, and just the camaraderie, I guess, between quarterbacks and running backs today at practice, right as we were finishing up. And here's how the running backs were paired with quarterbacks. Sims handed it off to Ramir Johnson and then Anthony Grant.
Sign me up for Ramir John carries.
Heinrich Harburg, who was the number 2 quarterback, handed things off to Gabe Irvin. Emmett Johnson got it from Chubba Purdy, and then Luke Longville handed the ball off to Trevin Lubin. So, but I mean, more importantly, I think there's a legit battle at running back too between Gabe Irvin, Ramir Johnson, and Anthony Grant. Emmett Johnson, obviously, somewhat involved, but I think he maybe finds himself a spot on special teams. But as Matt Rule has told us before, is that starters play on special teams for him a lot of the time as well. Defensive back, and this is in no particular order. They were just kind of working out. Gifford, Singleton, Samford, and Quentin Newsome. Now, remember, this is also with Marquise Buford, currently not practicing with the Huskers. And that's in the second group of 3 guys. It was Taman Lynham, Ethan Nation, and Sincere Safiula. So obviously, you're crossing over into cornerback and safety in that conversation there between a couple of the guys. But those were some of the group pairings and when they were going together. Because I think there is something to be said about guys that not only are placed to go first, but also volunteer to go first, right? You talk about a leadership type of thing, and maybe they're going against it that way. So once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. You can always follow us on Twitter, Nick_Sainer and at Radio Rico AC. We are 23 days away from Nebraska kicking things off in Huntington Bank Stadium against the Minnesota Golden Gophers and their quarterback, Ethan Kaliak-Manis. Now, a day before, people forget that
you shouldn't.
There's in a few short weeks, right? Just a few short weeks. That week of volleyball day in Nebraska, and then the very next day, Husker football starting under Matt Rule.
Nebraska athletics is in for a great week.
Those 2 days, that 48-hour span, and even that Friday after the Huskers' first game is going to be electric, because the atmosphere, although you don't have a home football game that week, or for the first 2 weeks for that matter, you'll have somewhat of an atmosphere, and it will come really close, if not to the same thing, when Husker volleyball takes the stage in Memorial Stadium and they play in front of 90,000.
It's just it's a run through for the concession people and for everybody that's running things at Memorial Stadium, all the security that have to get things under control of Memorial Stadium. This is their run through before football, because they're going to pack in 90,000 plus people into this stadium to watch 2 volleyball matches and an exhibition between Kearney and Wayne State, and then a regular season matchup. I believe it's Nebraska's 5th game of the season when they face Omaha at the, I don't know what yard line. We'll just say like the 35-yard line in Memorial Stadium.
So once again, we'll dive into that a little bit more. Also, Aaron Boone, after we just talked about him yesterday, he got ejected in a great fashion. In great fashion. I really wish we could throw up the video onto the stream so that people could just head over there and watch it. But in the meantime, if you're not driving a motor vehicle right now, go over to Twitter, find it, search it on Google. Aaron Boone gets ejected, because we're going to talk about that here coming up in just a few minutes, because I have to get Rico's thoughts as he imitated an umpire yesterday, and it just keeps getting worse and worse for Aaron Boone and the New York Yankees. So we'll dive into that, but mainly talk volleyball day in Nebraska when we return here. 22 days from volleyball day in Nebraska. We talk about it coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainer and at Radio Rico AC. More Happy Hour is next on 90.7 The Ticket and the Ticket FM.
Are you working or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Vershawn Jackson for Brandt Excavating. Brandt's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brandt is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brandt Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrandtExcavating.com. They're also hiring. So join the team today. Brandt Excavating, the Power brand, who reminds you of Big Red.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for fireworks Fridays, souvenir Saturdays, Sunday family fun days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-442255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
H&H Roofing, established in 2015, is proud to serve the local area, which includes the tri-state area in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. H&H Roofing has a professional team that are licensed and bonded. GA, the preferred contractor that will work directly with your insurance company. Also a leading roofer, siding, and gutter specialist. H&H Roofing will service all residential, commercial, and agricultural needs. Go to HNHroofs.com for more information or call 402-359-2546.
It's less than 1 month until the Guardians of Freedom Air Show at Air Park on August 26th and 27th. The show can't happen without the efforts of volunteers, and they need your help. This is a great opportunity to raise money for civic clubs, student organizations, club sports, and others who want to be close to the high-flying action. For more details on how to volunteer at the Guardians of Freedom Air Show, visit LincolnAirShow.com.
Warning, this ad will use the F word often, so listen at your own risk. Family fun, fun with friends, freedom from fuel, free Yeti cooler, free driveway delivery. Hey, this is Carl from Nebraska Golf Carts and Priced Right Auto, and we have the all-electric Bentelli Fun Carts, and they are a blast. Plenty of fun colors, and these street-legal carts come in both 4 and 6 passenger. Tell us you heard us on the ticket and get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase. Hurry, supply is limited. Check them out at 1235 West O in Lincoln or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job, you'll find support that allows people healing lives. They're all here. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at BatsToRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans, begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 1 to Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. Price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
What do you mean?
Did Caesar live here?
No.
I didn't think so.
On 93.7 The Ticket and the TicketFM.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick and Rico are joining you, as usual, 402-464-5685. The Honda Lincoln Hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys the entire show. This has been talked about briefly throughout the day, I believe. But I definitely want to dive a little bit deeper into this because the Athletic, has written some updates and articles regarding the Baltimore Orioles broadcaster. Do we have the clip of the things he said?
I do. I don't know if you guys got to it, but I put it in the drives folder.
Because I was at practice, so it would have been if you guys got to it.
No, we didn't.
Okay, perfect. let's do that then, because we can play that audio. This is what. So if you are unaware of this, the Orioles have suspended or indefinitely suspended their play-by-play broadcaster Kevin Brown over comments on their team's record versus the Tampa Bay Rays. This is how it sounded prior to a game just a few days ago.
For the Orioles, Brandon Hyde has felt like this has been maybe the toughest ballpark to play in, but the Orioles have a chance to do something special today. They've already clinched at least a split in the series, winning 2 of the first 3, and they could pick up a series win behind Tyler Wells today. It's been a minute. The Orioles split a 2-gamer with the Rays in June. They had lost their last 15 series here at Tropicana Field. You have to go back to when our now colleague Rock picked up the win in the series finale, June 25th, 2017, the last time the Orioles won a series here at St. Pete. Already got 3-2 at the Trop this year after winning 3 of 18 the previous 3 years combined. It is a stark difference, and it is not a bad race. It's not like all of a sudden the race became slouches in the League East. They've led this division every day, but now 2, and the Orioles once again are back alone in first place.
So I think a lot of people were in the same boat as I was when we listened to this for the first time. You were just waiting. You were waiting for that word or the phrase or something to be said where you sat there and go, oh, there it is.
Oh, that's why he's suspended indefinitely.
There it is. But throughout the entire video, you go away from that and saying, well, that's actually pretty factual. All of that is factual.
I thought it was going to be something he said, like when he didn't know the camera or like the mics were hot or something. So like I went back and I was like, did he say something right at the beginning? Like, why'd they keep this video going for so long? And I couldn't
There was nothing to it.
find anything.
There was nothing to it. But that is exactly how it sounded. And it's those comments that he made right there that have now gotten him suspended indefinitely. And so The Athletic has written articles here, and they've made updates to the original one. Once that Kevin Brown, the broadcaster, pointed out on the air that the Orioles had won more games at Tampa Bay's Tropicana Field in 2023 than the last 3 years combined. The comment was backed up in the July 23 game notes, which are put together by the team's public relations staff.
Oh, crazy.
The quote, the Orioles have won 3 of the first 5 games at the Trop this season after winning 3 of the 21 games played in St. Petersburg from 2020 to 2022, the game notes said. So not only did Kevin Brown really report factual information, number 2, the broadcaster, Kevin Brown, also took it straight from the Baltimore Orioles game notes.
He reported what he was given from the team.
And if you watch the video of it or you were watching it on TV, there's a graphic.
When that music pops up.
Yeah, there's a graphic of the statistics. So somebody else other than just Kevin or other than just this Kevin Brown, right? The Baltimore Orioles announcer.
We can call him Kevin. We're on a first name basis.
Kevin. Somebody else had to approve the graphic. Somebody else had to make the graphic that was involved in the Baltimore Orioles organization.
And they didn't make that second that he started talking about it. That was made the day before. That was made hours before this and was approved by the Orioles, I'm guessing, since they were having their announcers say these things. Like, these are all things that he's not disparaging the team. He's not saying anything mean about the team. He's just reporting on what the numbers say.
He also he didn't like dwell on it.
He just said it and then they moved on.
And he moved on to say, hey, this is how you have to, and he also threw in about their coworker, right? One of their coworkers who actually got the final win, or, you know, the last win at Tropicana Field for the home of the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, the Baltimore Orioles are starting to come out of this. The Athletic reports that despite it being in the game notes, the Baltimore Orioles ownership took exception to Brown pointing it out, believing that made them sound cheap. Brown, who started as a radio broadcaster for Baltimore in 2019, has been a popular fixture on Orioles telecasts for the past 2 seasons. Now, what's crazy, once again, they decided to get all up in arms about these comments because it made them sound cheap. Baltimore ranks 29th in Major League Baseball payroll, which is the second lowest.
You are cheap. And
Well, no.
that's a number that
It hasn't even been that they're cheap. It's that they have gotten a farm system of just really young guys that are now starting to all pan out and hit their prime. They're at the cusp of their prime.
Yeah, they're
Badly-
still cheap. They're not signing big name free. And it's not like anybody look, I
But they're
can't
not
tell
the
you
New
that,
York
that anybody's
Yankees.
like trying to go to Baltimore. Nobody's clamoring to go to Baltimore regardless of how much money. So it to a point or to a certain extent it is that they are cheap, but to another one, like you said, you've built through your farm system. All of these guys are finally coming up and doing what you expected them to do. And like I said, it's not like all these big name free agents are clamoring to go to Baltimore. So it's not like you have, it's not like you can just throw money at somebody and expect them to be like, oh yeah, I'll be an Oriole.
Well, I think part of baseball, and this is, I mean, NBA is in the same boat, right? You have the big market teams, the mid-market teams, and the small market teams, right? Kansas City is a small market team where they're not going to be able to go pay or offer the same amounts, nor want to offer the same amounts as the New York Yankees or as the Los Angeles Dodgers, right? And so that's why every time of the trade deadline, or except prior to this year, or even in free agency, it's always, oh, Freddie Freeman's going to the Dodgers, or Shohei Ohtani's probably going to sign with the Yankees during this offseason, right? It's things like that. It's because there's just plethoras of money, and that's what a big market team does. They try to scoop up all the stars because they can afford it. A Baltimore, a Kansas City, in the NBA, a Memphis Grizzlies, they can't. They just can't. And so what's interesting here, I would have taken it honestly as a way of saying, look at how much we've improved over those 3 years, rather than looking at this makes us sound cheap. To me, it says, look at how much Baltimore has improved. Baltimore is now in first place in the American League East this season. They reached their 70th win mark on Sunday. But how about this? This also comes from The Athletic. Ownership for the Baltimore Orioles has enacted a new policy mandating that their broadcasters wear only team gear when on air. That snafu led to Brown filling in on radio after his comment in the Rays series because another broadcaster got in trouble.
Okay.
Broadcasters have also been previously reprimanded, for mentioning past Orioles players who are no longer with the team.
Okay. I don't get it. You get a little bit of success and all of a sudden you think you're all high and mighty. Why are you changing what got you here? Granted, you changed a little bit to get you to this point.
You had to change a little
bit. Why are you all of a sudden just like, all right, this is what needs to happen? Like, again, he wasn't saying anything malicious about the team. He was just reporting facts. And like you said, you should take it as a compliment. Like 3 years ago, or in these last 3 years, we weren't able to compete with the top team in the AL East.
Yeah.
And now
you didn't have a chance.
Now we have an over 500 record against them. We've won 3 of the last 5 at this field that we had no business of winning in the last 3 years.
Well, and as he mentioned in the video and in the clip, it's not like the Rays have been a slouch in years past either. So just a crazy turn of events. Kevin Brown, I'm sure if the Orioles decide, I mean, that's the thing is if you're him, I understand there's contracts and things to abide by. How do you go back to work and expect to just feel like everything's fine?
Well, he's suspended indefinitely, so I don't even know when he's going back.
But that's my thing is if they come to him like, okay, listen, yeah, you're back. You just got to watch yourself now. How do you go back?
How do you watch
How do you
yourself?
enjoy? How do you, yeah, because
what can you say?
Bingo. That's exactly the point.
He didn't say anything wrong.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Does he have to stay away from that? Is it just all rainbows and sunshine? No negativity? If they're down 4-0, can he just be like, hey, the comeback is about to start?
Well, that's what's crazy is that it wasn't even negative. He framed it and phrased it in a way to where it took what was right. And DP always talks about friction, right? And that's somewhat what Kevin Brown was doing right there. Was he talks about how the Orioles had to go through something to get to where they are now. He had to set the story, he had to paint the picture and lay out the landscape, and that still got him suspended indefinitely. Just a wild just sequence of events over the last few days for Baltimore Orioles and their play-by-play broadcaster, Kevin Brown. All right, before we get to break, Rico, 22 days, 1 hour, 45 minutes.
As you say, do you
and
have that pulled up,
37 seconds until volleyball day in Nebraska begins.
I want to get somebody's thoughts on this as well. So if you're going to the game, if you're uber excited for volleyball day in Nebraska, I want you to call in 402-464-5685 on the Honda of Lincoln hotline and just give us like your overview of how you think the Haymarket and how you think Lincoln is going to be. Because look, picture this. It's volleyball day in Nebraska. You've got the team coming back after what some would call a disappointing season, losing in the Elite Eight to a team of Oregon in the Louisville region. You come back with a team with no seniors. You've got 5 juniors, one Lexi Rodriguez, who capped in the last 2 years. You've got a ton of national team experience with a lot of the players on your roster. You've got the number 1 class in the nation once again that John Cook has put together to lead this, well, not to lead this team, but to help this team get over the hump and win another national championship for Nebraska, University of Nebraska-Lincoln volleyball. But what Volleyball Day in Nebraska is a celebration of volleyball in the state of Nebraska. And I just want to know, I just feel like the Haymarket is going to be buzzing. The energy surrounding Memorial Stadium with the sport of volleyball in this state is going to be electric. You've got the University of Nebraska Kearney coming from central Nebraska, who's been a top 5 team year in and year out in the sport of volleyball, who a few years ago was in the national championship game and has been in the Final Four, the Elite Eight, in the tournament year after year. You've got Wayne State College up north coming down to play the University of Nebraska Kearney in an exhibition match before the University of Nebraska-Lincoln faces Omaha for their 5th regular season match of the year. You've got to be thinking that all 3 of those teams, not to count Omaha out, but all 3 of those teams are going to be top teams within their respective divisions, Division I, Division II, University of Nebraska, Kearney, and Wayne Division II. But those 3 teams are going to be top teams within their divisions. So I just feel as if Volleyball Day in Nebraska surrounding the state, you've Omaha, Wayne, Kearney, all the way out, and I looked this up, all the way out in Henry, Nebraska, which is the furthest we can go. It's right on the border of Nebraska and Wyoming, is going to be buzzing because the sport of volleyball is not only massive in the city of Lincoln, but it is huge all around the state of Nebraska.
We've talked a lot about the passion that Nebraska volleyball fans, and when I say Nebraska volleyball fans, I don't mean just for the Huskers. And that's why this event is so special for everybody involved, for all the fans, for all the youth, for all the college athletes that are participating in this one, because they get to showcase their abilities and the talents that is in the state of Nebraska on a as big a stage as you can get in the state of Nebraska, if you will. And 90,000 fans are going to show up rocking whatever color that they want, whether it's UNK and it's blue, whether it's Omaha and it's a little bit of black, white, and red, whether it's Wayne State and it's gold and yellow and white, or excuse me, gold and black, or even Nebraska, right? 90,000 fans are going to be in attendance on August 30th in Memorial Stadium to what? To watch volleyball. And that's something that you can't get anywhere else, number one. And number two, if anybody tries to duplicate it or replicate it, Nebraska is always going to be the place that it started.
This event put together after Nebraska volleyball broke the record for a single season, regular season match attendance with the University of Creighton University, however you want to say it, with Creighton University in Omaha, only to be broken a week later by the University of Wisconsin and the University of Florida up in Wisconsin to take hold of the, again, regular season, single season attendance record. Wisconsin has it now, but Nebraska, the University of Nebraska, Omaha, the University of Nebraska Kearney, and Wayne State will soon be able to stake claim to not only the largest regular season attendance, the largest exhibition attendance for Kearney and for Wayne State, but possibly a world record attendance for a women's sporting event.
Yeah.
As that is currently held by, I believe it's a World Cup match over in China, I believe. I don't know who the matchup was, but it was somewhere in the 91,000. And as it stands today, it was, as far as we know, 92 plus people will be packed into Memorial Stadium to watch volleyball.
One thing that also just needs to be repeated, Nebraska, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, has called off classes for this day. They have called off classes to what? To go watch Volleyball Day in Nebraska. And it's going to be a ruckus environment. It's going to be an awesome place to be. And it's such a good thing to celebrate the sport of volleyball and the passion for volleyball that the people in Nebraska have. There's no better place to do it than on the biggest stage in Lincoln, and that's Memorial Stadium. And so we're super excited for it. Once again, the countdown, 22 days, 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 21 seconds from this moment, Volleyball Day in Nebraska will commence, and Nebraska will rightfully take back their stand as and their post as the true volleyball school in the country. So can't wait for it. It's going to be super exciting. Stick around. When we come back, we have something really special to do. Obviously, the crossover with Strick in Austin, but not talking about that. A1 Automotive and Kendall Warnock, if you heard it earlier today, they're doing something really, really special in the community of Lincoln, and we need your guys' help to do it to the best of our abilities. So stick around. We'll tell you all the details and get you guys involved coming up next. You're listening to the Happy Hour on 37 The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed here for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage, 402-420-6277, or judsonirrigation.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again. And they're hiring for at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljob.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. A lot of businesses say that they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business feels anything but for your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, as they do with customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me, what was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, you can eat the drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. integrated life choices.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay, benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action positive team environment for 50 years. Up online at actionlincoln.com.
Where will your take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a slight chance of this morning, otherwise probably sunny skies expected. We'll see a high around 84. Night showers and storms are likely. We'll see a low around 60 tomorrow. Another chance of showers and storms in the morning. Otherwise, we'll see some clearing take place. High should top out around 81. Meteorologist Kyle Buck from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's less than 1 month until the Guardians of Freedom Air Show comes to Lincoln's Air Park on August 26th and 27th. The show can't happen without the efforts of volunteers, and they need your help. This is a great opportunity to raise money for civic clubs, student organizations, club sports, and others who want to be close to the high-flying action. For more details on how to volunteer at the Guardians of Freedom Air Show, visit LincolnAirShow.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I vomited last night.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I literally vomited. I threw up.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick, Rico joining you right now. Austin will join us here momentarily as he's just getting things together. Next the door, and Austin is getting ready to join us. While Austin gets set up and gets his life in order, we're going to do something special, and it's courtesy...
Freaking luck with that.
Gets his life in order. Like,
Gosh,
he's
what
just
are your expectations?
he's coming into
Do you
this.
even know who I am? Do you even know who I am?
Anyway,
he's just walking in here grabbing a mic, and it's like, oh, Austin, get your life together.
All right. As we wait for now Strick to get his life in order.
Y'all and your expectations.
What are we munching on there, Stricky? It better not be Mary Ellen's. I mean, that's just unfair if you're eating Mary Ellen's.
They ain't okay. But I put together, I cooked up some spaghetti with some spicy chicken sausage.
It smells so good.
It does smell good.
Zucchini.
Yeah.
Slam it.
Don't bring that into the
And
studio. You'll
and
start
didn't-
smelling it up.
And you didn't share?
No.
You didn't
Brought
think
one portion.
you didn't think that everybody else would I hope you brought enough for the last.
Brought Mary Ellen when you was out of town.
Yep.
And so
Wow, how dare you?
yeah.
I thought we was
that part.
boys.
We are, but you wasn't here. So
The nerve.
what can I do? You left me.
Some
True.
people's
You
children.
left
True. All right.
Point Strick.
All right. Well, you
How
guys.
many times have you left
Can you
us?
turn off your microphone?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Here we are.
Mute his mic.
Oh, really? You gonna mute my mic on my own show?
Nick, real quick,
Yo, what's up?
before we move past it.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest, and you're an honest man.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times Mr. Rico has come
Oh,
in.
very much so. He's gone out and gotten
Talk to
lunch.
me. Talk
He's
to
gone out and gotten burgers, French fries, Pringles. He brings all this stuff. He has these cans of Baja Blast that are delicious. Never once.
The
Never
syrup
once.
can.
That doesn't
Never
even
once. What's he drinking right now? Coca-Cola. Never once.
That's a
I'll
fact.
go to the gas station, and people can back me up on this. I go to the gas station if I usually get a root beer sometimes. I'm like, you guys need anything from the gas station?
Nick, the last time I went to the gas station, did I or did I not bring you back a root beer?
I do not recall.
No, you.
Yes, I plead the fifth.
I literally was in here and I said, I'm going to get a drink. Would you like something? You go, a root beer. I said, all right, cool. And I brought you one back.
Maybe. Because
There's no maybe. I did.
because there was a bet.
No, there what?
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Rico's
All
gonna
right,
get fired up.
Whatever,
here.
man.
See,
You know
Rico-
what? Not.
look at him.
You know what? You know
Let's
what?
play 10 seconds.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Mr. NBA money over here. Can you?
No.
We see what Anthony
Tony
Davis
Allen
is
was
getting
stealing
paid.
from you guys?
Huh?
Did you see Tony Allen was stealing from you guys? We'll bring that up on our show.
Yeah. We'll get to that. We got something important to get to right now. We got something important to get to right
we
now.
gotta get to this. Go.
Our good friend of the station, Kendall Warnock, and the fine folks over at A1 Automotive are giving away Walmart gift cards for people in need. So you guys have an opportunity, 402-464-5685, the Sartor Heyman text line. You have an opportunity to give a nomination for somebody that may just needs a little extra help here over the next, near future, if you will. So once again, 402-464-5685 for the people in need. Send in your nominations, and then guess what? If you send us all of their contact info, we'll send a quick text back, say, hey, we got it. They're in the nomination pool, and we're going to pick one. We're going to figure it out. We're going to make sure we help out as many people as we can.
We're trying to help some people out with school
Huge
supplies,
shout out to Kendall and his team, his awesome team over at A1 Automotive. Make sure you head over there. A1
I'm gonna take my
Automotive.
car over there this week.
Yeah.
A1
So
Automotive.
I hit them up a couple weeks ago for some new tires. So they got me right. So we're all good.
As I tell my daughter, you got to take your car to the car doctor.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
I'll
Gotta
be there.
get
Kendall,
car some
if you're
new
listening,
shoes.
I'm on my way. Probably Thursday or Friday.
Yeah,
Hey,
there you
man.
go. So
Hey,
huge shout out to Kendall and his team over at A1 Automotive. And if you guys want to, feel free to send in a nomination, 402-464-5685. Speaking of NBA money, Strick. Okay, you got that NBA money because we see what AD's getting paid right now. Anthony Davis, that is. I forgot about the other AD. We see what Anthony Davis is getting paid. $62 million a year. How much of this stems because of what Jaylen Brown signed?
But that's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
I said this could. What I made a reference to is there was another cycle when this happened when Juwan Howard signed for that $100 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
I said everybody and their mama and their agents was, oh no, you didn't just give him that. I'm coming back for 20 more, 40 more, or whatever the case may be. And everybody and their mama, when you're not the best at your position and you land that deal, everybody's coming.
Well, here's this, because it feels like AD misses a lot of time.
There's no feel like he does.
It feels like Anthony Davis misses a lot of games, and obviously we're in the age of load management and guys taking a couple games off just to get their body healed up, right?
What was the nickname that Charles Barkley gave him again, Austin?
Wheelchair, what is it?
Wheelchair Wilt. I call him alternating days.
Oh, he called him. I remember he called him street clothes.
Yeah. So here's this.
Davis.
Dang, that's a lot more nicknames than I thought he had.
Alternating Davis is actually pretty dope. Go
That
ahead.
is great.
So Anthony Davis joined the Lakers in 2019. All right. After forcing his way out of New Orleans. He has played in 194 games since joining the Lakers.
In 4 years.
In 4 years.
And that
Out of-
averages
out
out
of-
to what?
Out of
50
377
games?
possible.
I
That's
say,
50%.
How many games are in a season?
82.
82.
But
82
that
plus
count the
playoffs.
COVID bubble.
Well, so we can include this here.
How many has he played in?
So here, I'll let me give some more facts. Let me pull my inner Orioles broadcaster Kevin Brown give facts.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Okay, you're
hopefully
gone.
not
Nope.
suspended.
Careful
Hopefully not
now.
suspended indefinitely.
From the Lakers.
He has played, from the Lakers. He has played in 194 of a possible 377 games in his time since joining the
It's almost
Lakers.
half.
Right?
Half.
In the Lakers 2020 championship season, Anthony Davis played in 36 of a 72 game schedule.
Half.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's
I
see.
just did the 82 and 82 is 164. So he's played in a season and 30 games. Or 2 seasons
Yeah.
and 30 games.
This season, Davis missed out on 26 out of 82 games, mainly with a stressed right foot, along with other ailments.
That's crazy.
What is he doing?
And here
in the
he
offseason?
is.
He lands the bag.
Oh no, and here he is, $62 million a year, the highest annual for a player in the NBA.
This is why so there's two things that are going to happen. And you heard it here on the crossover. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to tell you I was wrong. Here's what's going to happen. Either the league is going to spiral down, and it just
I love that every time.
It's either going to be that, like the Pac-Man after he got hit with the ghost. Yeah. Or what's happening right now with Liv, the Mbappe situation, you're going to see the Arabic nations, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, are going to come into the NBA space. The money that they're looking for in the TV deals, they're going to get it from them.
Remember,
it's going to be one of those two things that going to happen,
because
because they can't do it.
That's
they
like,
cannot continue to go at the manner that
absolutely not.
No,
well, because if you find a guy that's played in 3/4 of his games, he's going to be now. If their agent does it the way they're supposed to, and you can't blame him for doing it because that means just a bigger payday for the agent.
Yeah,
right. And the teams can't say no.
There's no way
the team can.
You can't deny it.
Yes, exactly.
That's what's crazy.
It's funny that you bring up the whole Saudi Arabia stuff because it reminded me of Giannis after Mbappe got offered, and he takes a picture of himself. He goes, "Hey, Saudi Arabia, I look like I look like Mbappe." And he's like, "I'll pay."
I never thought when he posted that, I never thought about it. And I go, you know what? You kind of does. You're a lot taller, but yeah, sure. Also, Giannis is pretty solid at soccer.
Yeah. So anyway, no, I mean, and Austin, when Austin and I were talking about it earlier, we were saying that it's like the quarterback contract situation right now in the NFL. It's whoever's next. That's why Daniel Jones got paid $40 million a year.
You see, Justin Herbert got paid.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on Justin Herbert.
I can't. Nothing accomplished.
This is why the Jalen Brunson
you
deal.
blew a 27-point lead.
Might as well have been
last year in the playoffs, and you got paid well.
This is why Jalen Brunson's deal is absolutely phenomenal
for
the Knicks.
I don't get that one because it's not like he was the next man up because he wasn't. He's not
even the best point guard on Team USA right now.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is his deal. They won.
Oh yeah.
Knicks won.
Yes.
In
I
that
thought
deal.
Jalen Brown. Sorry.
There's deals that they win on, and there's deals that they lose on. Boston is next up for the loss because they got to pay Tatum.
Well, and that's
Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and RJ Barrett make $30 million less than Jalen Brown.
Yeah. That is a fact.
Yeah. And he can't go left.
And now Kristaps is with Boston, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
And so Kristaps
They just extended him.
They just extended him because I was going to say he's a free agent in 2024.
3 years, $60 million.
And your best player is on the books for next year.
Yep.
Because I'm looking.
I don't know where they're planning on getting his money from.
That part.
So like I'm looking through the NBA teams' free agents, and obviously this isn't updated this is just as of June 28th. I mean, even on. I mean, Denver has a lot of just lower name guys.
Porter's going to be coming up.
Right, yeah. KCP is probably the most well-known or the biggest part of it, and he's not until 2024.
Mm-hmm.
But here in 2023, Denver has Ish Smith, Jeff Green, Reggie Jackson, Thomas Bryant, Bruce Brown.
Reggie Brown or Reggie Jackson's on that team?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He re-signed with them.
Did he?
He might.
They did lose Bruce Brown.
He might be able to fill in that spot.
Right.
With him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember Reggie Jackson with Detroit.
If he's willing to take that role.
Well. So now
where's Porter up?
He not until 2024.
They
extended
him.
They're good.
Until he's not even on the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So they got years. They got a couple.
Good.
Now here's what's crazy. The next guy up right now is Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's available for an expansion.
But you're gonna probably have to.
You have to because since when have the Clippers been closer than they are right now?
Yeah.
When have the Clippers been closer?
Well, the answer is 2015. They ran into the Warriors.
Yes. Okay. Yes. But I'm saying in recent years, in the last, because 2015 was almost 9 years ago now already.
Yeah. Well, this is as close as you're going to get, but at the same time, Paul George isn't happy, and Kawhi might not. Like, this is as close as you're going to get, but your stars aren't even. I don't know. That's the thing.
The problem.
Is somebody is going to, and this is going to sound weird, somebody is going to overpay for Kawhi Leonard because you're not going to get him for a full season, and then maybe you get him back for the playoffs. But the thing with him not playing and trying to stay healthy for the playoffs is your body isn't going to be used to doing all of that stuff because you haven't done it.
Yeah.
So even if he sits out all those games and is like, I'm saving myself for the postseason. Once you get to the postseason, you're 5 games in. All of a sudden, you're super tired. It's like, oh, what's going on? Well, you didn't play half the games this season.
My
dude.
thing about Kawhi is, does he really even like? Sometimes it seems like he don't even.
Does he
play.
care?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes
But
off that
remember
way.
that was the question in Toronto, and then they won the championship, obviously, and he's just like, that's just how I operate. I'm just kind of cool. I'm just calm. I'm collected, right? It's like, and nobody could say anything else because they just won the ship. They just won the ship.
They're like, well,
Now,
you're right.
here's what's crazy. So both of them, I believe, and I'm trying to find it specifically, I know for a fact that the max that Kawhi can sign for. Now, remember, he turned down his $161 million player option for over 4 years. He turned that down. The max that he can sign for 4 years, $220 million.
Oh, that's it?
I believe, yeah, exactly. I believe that Paul George is the same. I believe they're both there at that 4-year, $220 million mark. So around a little over $55 million a year, if my math is correct. It's not as much as Anthony Davis, but can the Clippers afford? Should they pay both of those guys when they both come calling? How do they decide which one to say yes to and which one to say no to?
Right.
It's easy. Paul George.
Say
That's
no
the answer.
or yes.
You get Paul George back. You let Kawhi go.
That's the easy, but at the same time, at least these last recent years, Paul George hasn't been able to stay healthy. Now, Kawhi, it's not that it's so with Kawhi, it's a little different because it's not that he's not healthy, it's just that he don't want to play.
That's even worse.
Listen to this.
That is worse.
How about this?
So he doesn't want to play, but at least
don't pay him.
You have him, but Paul George, like he's playing, but he's getting hurt.
We just brought up Anthony Davis, right? And I can't remember the number out of 377 games, 192. 194 out of 377
2 seasons
games.
and 30 games.
Okay. Out of a possible 308 regular season games in the last 4 seasons, Kawhi Leonard has appeared. Now, obviously, that's a pretty small chunk or less amount of games than the Lakers, right? 308 possible games. Leonard has appeared in 161.
My part.
But hold on. Paul George in 179.
Right
So
there
you're
with
talking about
Right there with him.
18 more games
Yeah.
that Paul George has appeared in.
Yeah.
Out of 308 regular
And
seasons.
so that's why
and no ships to show for it.
So here's where my issue is. I weigh the difference between the want to. And that's where I go with Austin as far as at least Paul has a little bit more want to.
Yeah.
Kawhi doesn't even look like half the time he wants to be there.
Was the Clippers' best shot the bubble?
I thought so.
They were up 3-1 on the Nuggets,
Yeah.
blew it, and then it's all kind of fallen apart from there.
Yeah. Just crazy stuff. Once again, that is Anthony Davis signs and inks a $62 million per year salary for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Man, thinking back to last season and the free agent signings, and just like you said, everybody blowing up, Jalen Brunson's overpaid, and now you're seeing Jaylen Brown and Anthony Davis with their son. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What's coming up on the show, gentlemen?
We got some NFL, we got some NBA, we got some Husker fall camp. Eric Bieniemy in Washington. Clippers 76ers trade might be renegotiating or re-engaging. Top 100 and Husker fall camp headlines.
Perfect. All that and more coming up on the block. That'll do it for me and Rico here on the Happy Hour. Stick around. Strick and Austin take you in through 4 o'clock. Rico and I will talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
Adios. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, plumbing, to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppel Chevrolet GMC and just wanted to say thank you for seeing rebate on select new models. You heard right. 0.9% financing has been extended along with a trade-in rebate. Also, our GM certified used inventory is filling up fast. So make that money-saving drive to Koppel. It's just south of the interstate, or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Vershawn Jackson for Brandt Excavating. Brandt's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brandt is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brandt Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrandtExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brandt Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go Big Brandt!
The Nebraska Lottery's Powerball First Millionaire of the Year promotion is back until August 14th. Buy a Powerball with Power Play and Double Play ticket, and you could be one of 15 winners of $1,000. You'll also be entered to win a trip to New York